grades in the computer.
I was teaching a class of senior English.
At the Woodstock Police Department.
I was a junior at Sequoia High School.
I was listening to talk radio.
I was a consultant working in downtown Atlanta.
The media center specialist had the Today Show on, and I remember looking over my shoulder when I heard a gasp in the office, and I turned around and I saw like a fire, buildings were on fire, so I went over there and started watching it. And then whatever, a couple of minutes later is when the second plane live went into the World Trade Center.
This world totally changed right now, this second, in this instant. And so for hours we watched this, and it became apparent immediately that there was it was an act of terrorism.
Oh my God! What? Oh my God! It's terrorism! What do we do?
Towers were coming down. We're hearing about Pennsylvania. We're hearing about the Pentagon, and at that point, you know, we didn't know what was going on. At first, it just seemed like it was another movie. Everybody was kind of thinking it was just another movie, another Independence Day, where we had some great cinematography, but it wasn't real. And then the sobering fact came up that it actually is real.
And when stuff started to happen, I was actually on the phone with my counterpart, who was a fellow consultant in New York in Tower 2. We were talking about a business plan, something we were working on for the banking industry, and all of a sudden the phone line went dead. Tried to call back, couldn't get through, just kept trying, and finally I thought, all right, maybe something happened. A couple of coworkers came in screaming and said, "Did you look at the computer? Have you checked the news?" I said, "No, what's going on?" And then we started to see news clips, camera shots of things happening, and I realized then something happened to my counterpart, basically.
Trying to dial their cell phones. Many of them don't know that service has been cut off.
And I remember trying to get in contact with my dad and my sister and a lot of my college friends who still live there, and other friends that I have, trying to get a hold of them to make sure that they were okay, and you know, lines were busy, which was pretty frightening.
Patriotism went extremely well during that time period. Not that was, I guess, a good byproduct of it. There was a flag hanging on every house. There was respect for the police, respect for the fire. We'd drive by, we'd get waved at.
The next day I went to work, and the outpouring of people coming by the fire station wanting to help the New York firemen that died that day and perished and got hurt. It was overwhelming. We had people coming by giving us money. We didn't know what to do with the money. So we started a collection, and in that week period following 9/11, we raised over $500,000.
It collapsed. The top floors collapsed down. I saw it crawl below and then ran like hell. Thank God. I'm 69, but I can still run.
What I noticed the most was the fire station right across the street from Ground Zero was not touched. And that was pretty weird, because that was right across the street, and not one brick out of place, just dust and dirt everywhere. And every place we visited near Ground Zero, we had to wash our feet in and out of every building because we did not know what we were stepping in and so on. Also, a point of interest was the cemetery, also right across the street. Not a tombstone was touched. The church right there at the cemetery also, not a stained glass was broken. It was certain items, like I said, they were not touched, but right next door or right next to other buildings, just demolished. Holes in windows, sections missing.
The next morning, we got a call saying, please come back to work. We came back to work, and I was early because of my commute. I got there, and the next realization hit. I got on the elevator. I was the first one on the elevator. Nobody would get on the elevator with me. I don't know if that's out of fear or just panic, whatever you want to call it, until I just said, howdy, what floor would you like to go on? Maybe then they realized I was American or whatever you want to call it. So at that point, it wasn't just the impact of what happened, it was the fact that that day changed the face of America and how we thought about things.
I've grown up and become an adult in a world where it's normal to not be able to greet your loved ones at the gate at the airport, and to have to stand at security checkpoints in the airport for hours on end. And to only be able to bring bottles this big full of shampoo and conditioner on a plane. That's been my normal. I do know though that my friends in my graduating class that were planning on joining the military for the first time in almost a decade were actually standing the chance of going and fighting in this war in a country that I didn't even know where it was on the map. So I've come of age at a time when our country's at war and is in the longest war that it's ever been involved in. So I guess I'm the first generation of September 11th adults.